You know, some people invent products, but then there are those rare few who, they just create a whole new way of life. This is the story of Steve Jobs, the man who wanted to put a dent in the universe, and in the process ended up putting the universe right in our pockets.
And that right there is really the heart of it all. This quote, it perfectly sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. We're not just going to look at a timeline of gadgets, we're going to dive into a mindset, a story of brilliance, of failure, and of this relentless drive, all fueled by one single powerful vision.
All right, so the garage revolution, the spark of an idea. Every revolution's got to start somewhere, right? For Steve Jobs, it wasn't some fancy boardroom or high-tech lab. Nope, it was a suburban garage, right in the middle of a cultural and tech shift that was just starting to bubble up.
So he was born back in 1955, and from a super young age, his personality was already pretty clear. Incredibly curious, super intense, and yeah, had an almost maddening obsession with perfection. But what really lit the fuse was where he grew up, in the cradle of what would become Silicon Valley, surrounded by engineers and dreamers. That's what sparked his revolutionary spirit.
And okay, this is where the legend really gets going. 1976. Jobs teams up with Steve Wozniak. And the crazy thing is, they had nothing. No money, no real business plan, just a wild idea and a garage. Apple wasn't built on wealth. It was built on pure imagination. And this was their big, radical idea. See, back then, computers were these giant, scary machines locked away in corporate basements. But Jobs, he saw something totally different. He believed technology should be personal, a tool that wasn't just functional, but actually intuitive and beautiful. And that one single idea became the foundation for everything Apple would ever do.
Next up, exiled from the kingdom, the rise and fall. So with that vision, Apple just exploded. It was a massive success. But here's the thing, that same intensity that fueled the company's rise, well, it was also about to lead to a pretty dramatic and bitter fall from grace.
I mean, Jobs was famous for being demanding, like legendarily so. He pushed his teams to their absolute breaking point, because for him, he wasn't just building a box with wires. He was chasing a feeling. This idea that technology could make you feel something, that it could be almost magical. That was his obsession. And that relentless push gave us the Macintosh. It was brilliant. It introduced the world to a friendly little mouse and icons you could click on. A total masterpiece. But that same ambition that created it also caused a ton of conflict inside the very company he had built from the ground up.
And it all just blew up in 1985. In a boardroom coup that is now Silicon Valley legend, the board of directors, the very people he had hired, forced him out. The visionary was kicked out of his own kingdom. Everybody thought, well, that's it. His career's over.
It wasn't.
Okay, a vision in the wild, forging a new path. People often call this next chapter his wilderness years, but honestly, that's not really accurate. He wasn't just sitting around. This was a time where his vision got put to the test, you know? It got refined in totally new and unexpected ways.
Defeated? No way. He goes out and starts 2 new companies. First was Next, a computer company with tech so advanced it was like something from the future. And then he bought this little graphics group and renamed it Pixar. Yeah, that Pixar, the little studio that would go on to create films like Toy Story and completely change animation forever.
And that brings us to, well, the third act of this incredible story. The second coming. His unbelievable return to the very company that had kicked him out. A company that was now on the brink of total collapse.
By 1997, Apple was a mess. I mean, it was in a total death spiral, losing money like crazy with a product line that made no sense. It was just weeks away from bankruptcy. So, in a final, last-ditch, desperate move, the company bought Next. And just like that, Steve Jobs was back home. And he did not waste a second. First, he rebuilt the brand with that iconic Think Different campaign. Then, he took a machete to the product line, cutting over 70% of it to focus on just a few things. And maybe most importantly, he brought back that culture of innovation that started in that garage all those years ago.
So now we get to designing the future, the legacy of a visionary. What happens next is one of the greatest comeback stories in business history. It's a string of products that didn't just save Apple, they completely redesigned the way we live.
First up, the iPod. Now, it wasn't the first MP3 player, not by a long shot, but it was the first one that just felt right. It was simple, elegant, and put 1,000 songs in your pocket. It completely turned the music industry on its head.
And then, 2007, the iPhone. Again, this wasn't just a better phone. It was a whole new thing. An iPod, a phone, and a powerful internet device, all in one beautiful package. It didn't just improve the phone, it redefined it, and it sparked a global revolution.
And just when you thought he was done, he gives us the iPad. It created this whole new category, right? Something between your phone and your laptop. And it just changed the way we do, well, everything, from reading books to creating art.
And this right here, this is the key to all of it. Jobs wasn't just building products with a list of specs. He was crafting experiences. From the second you opened the box to the way an icon bounced on the screen, every single detail was designed to be simple, elegant, and just powerful.
But behind all of this incredible, world-changing success, Jobs was fighting his own personal battle. For years, he quietly fought cancer, all while continuing to lead Apple, pouring every last ounce of his energy into shaping its future. He passed away on October 5, 2011. He was only 56.
His death was felt all over the world, but really, his influence is permanent. It's everywhere. It's in the phone you're probably holding right now. It's on your desk, in the movies we watch, in the music we listen to. He fundamentally changed our relationship with technology, and because of that, our connection with each other.
His story just proves that one person with enough passion and enough courage can seriously change the world. It really makes you wonder, though, what's the real difference between someone who just dreams about the future and a visionary who actually goes out and builds it?
And maybe the answer is just that simple. It's believing in what other people can't see yet. Believing in it so fiercely that you just start building it, piece by piece, until finally, everyone else can see it too.